phase ban for Blacklist.
They were gonna pick it anyway.
Yeah, so it's a
Enggak dikasih
restructuring
lepas
of
cok
the
Estes
orders
mah.
of bans and
Estes
pickings for both teams. And again, I'm still so
sama
surprised that no
itu
one
cok
bit the bait
Paramis.
here. And maybe we'll see at the end of this draft who that benefits more.
Yeah, who it paid off for?
Yeah, I'm wondering if
Dia masih punya
you know,
Digi
with now that
cok.
the bans here are done, what exactly does Yawi want to play?
Might end up with a Kufra.
Kocak,
Yeah,
kocak,
I'm not
kocak,
turning off the
kocak.
idea of, whoa, what if Benny Cutie goes Lunox? But then that's a lot of magic damage, and then Yawi goes Rome Akai. But considering that it's a Fredrin, oh, what if they go Hayabusa for Girl DZ?
Not impossible.
Yeah.
That's a couple of solid soft targets already.
okay.
And
Chow
there it is,
na keluar, Chow, Chow
Yawi's
Yawi.
Cho, or as they say, Cho's Yawi.
And it's a Matilda
Oh.
pickup. Classic. Classic. This is what Blacklist likes to
Ya,
play.
Chow.
Use
Digi
up
lepas lo.
against lineups like this that they're up against. But right now, this puts a lot of pressure on Edward and Wise. If Blacklist don't have a okay, respectable early to mid game here, that means Edward and Wise were just punished hard. They're going to be holding a lot of the front lines.
Yeah, I think for Blacklist International, if they can at least, let's say early game, have an okay rotation in the jungle, deal with it, but also not let the Joy just kind of wreak havoc. That's exactly what she's drafted for early on and why she's so priority for a lot of teams, because you can actually do so much with that Joy pick, especially towards the back lines here. So you got to be able to cover your bases, and at the same time, man, we know how much damage this Cho is going to be able to do.
Yeah. If Yawi is Cho, Carl is Lancelot, then Oh My Venus is Matilda and or Estes. So that's how textbook and that's how meaningful this draft has become for both teams. Again, Blacklist up against the wall, currently not on the board just yet. Let's get into game 3.
Management of the early to mid game here is crucial for Echo because of the two main pieces that they have in the Eve and the Beatrix. After taking a bit of damage, or a lot of damage there from Edward.
This is dangerous.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Yue was going to try to put some pressure up there, but, you know, they already got the word, so Sanford's going to back off.
Yeah, but even though he goes back, because of when he completed the recall animation, as the minion is responding, he'll be able to get back in time without that big of a problem, without Edward getting anything actually on the shields. But this rotation of Blacklist is smart. Wise going out first there, but Yawi not Yawi, Carltese responds in turn, 2 closer up top.
So about a minute until the turtle comes out, and yeah, checking in for the first minute of this game, Blacklist reverts to the non-double XP lane start. So we've seen both kinds of the Uber strat season 11 come through, and Echo had an answer for both.
Exactly. Now, still slow and steady for both. Gonna be watching out. Ooh.
Yeah.
I like what Wise did there. That was a smart use of the dashes that he had.
Oh, might get punished here. He's not going to be able to get away from this one. Wise will go down. First blood in the hands of Carl Teasy. 15 seconds away from the first turtle of the game. So a little advantage already starting for Echo.
Good news, Wise gonna make it back for the turtle take. Bad news, you don't want your jungler dying this early.
That was uncharacteristic of Wise for that to happen.
Oh.
But here comes Edward. Oh, they might be able to contest.
Edward going to come in, does have that level 4. Uses the final slash, but also still going to be fighting for the turtle. Sanji dropping the real world manipulation. Here comes Sanford. They're going to go in. Carl T's able to secure it. There's the way of the dragon. Why's going to be cut off here? Sanford popping the beats here. No one going to fall. Turtle secure for Echo.
ulang.
Carl T's able to secure it. Final slash. But also still going to be fighting for the turtle. Sanji dropping the real world manipulation. Here comes Sanford. They're going to go in. Carl T's able to secure it. There's the way of the...
Manis.
A mid laner that's so in sync, that's so mechanically gifted, it just shrinks the opponent's window of opportunity. The mechanics and the game IQ of these two.
Because of the pressure and control of the map.
Yeah, we're gonna get the kickoff. He isn't gonna be able to follow up though just yet. Gets stopped by Wise. There you go. Circle Lee gonna come down. Yawi chunked down. Still okay. Now Benny Cutie forcing the flicker out. Carl Teasy comes through with the heavy spin. Sanji will capitalize on the kill. And now it's Wise and Yue. And also Owl making his way. They're going to back off.
This is exactly how Echo wants it. They've been playing the same way since game 1, into game 2, into game 3. Quick, hard, fast, and messy.
To add injury to injury, as that entire sequence was happening, Al was just solo killed by Benny Cutie.
Before the whole sequence.
Yeah.
Before the whole sequence, actually. And this is again just Echo continuing their best qualities in game 1 and game number 2. And Blacklist just trying to readjust and answer to it. Echo right now still in the flow and in the zone. Blacklist, what else could they do here to actually turn the ties, a counter punish into a failed Yaoi attempt probably. But right now, the lineup and the positioning of Sanji and the timing of entry of Carl Teasy.
Oh, Lord.
Echo are making sure they have those insurance plans.
Oh, Wise going to be forced out from his orange buff. He might still be able to get it, but look at that. Sanford going to hold him. Forced back to the base. His buff. Meanwhile, Turtle now up here. Second one of the game. Yue now getting a position. Oh my Venus holding down the front. The damage is there. The stun comes through. They get the flicker out from Yaoi. So he at least does not have that available. Echo still going back and forth. Edward now in Wise here. They also get the heavy spin out from Carl TZ. This could be a take for the Turtle. Final slash going to come through. Sandy has the flicker. Here comes Sanford. Dancing on the queen. She will fall. Still Wise in position. Carl TZ does it again. And now they force Blacklist International back here. Fraser's Wrath to come down, but he gets kicked to the team, and Benny Cutie gets the kill.
Deja vu.
Ang
That's a
choya
replay,
yung aro
but
bencho.
with more this time around from that initial sequence in the first hurdle.
Paint this image in your head, folks. A killer whale, an orca in the seas, ridden by a goat. Carl Teasy again winning a retribution duel against Wise. And again, the factor of the Sanford late entry coming in big. And the response of Echo Benny Cutie timing up that snipe with the kick of Yaoi.
Whoever will try to engage into turtle fights the way Carl T does here, I give you fair warning. Not everybody can do the same thing, especially if he's on the same sync as Carl T does with the rest of Echo.
Yeah, and even in that fight, he didn't have the heavy spin because he had to use it early, right? So the fact that he's actually able to still accomplish that is insane and speaks volumes for exactly how much skill Carl TZ has here. So right now, it's Blacklist International familiar territory from the previous 2 games, working against this Echo Express. Yaoi was looking for an angle, but they're going to focus on the tier 1. Carl TZ comes in with the heavy spin. Meanwhile, on the backside, Sanford will push him back too. No one's going to fall, though. A fight for a resource here could ensue. Yaoi gets Jikundo up. Now, Sanford once again going to force back Wise from his buff. Still might have to go for it. Can't get it.
Oh, our buff, says Carl TZ.
Man, Echo, their layering of abilities is brilliant right now. And Yaoi, it's like he knows one of the conditions of Blacklist is, alright, counter punish a failed Yaoi attempt. Jikundo pick-off
We
attempt.
get it. It's what it is.
Yeah.
Everybody understands.
Yeah. And Yaoi held on to it, as you pointed out there, Naisu. The discipline on Yaoi to not pull the trigger there.
Yeah, still, once again, there's the trigger. Wise going to be the one to get kicked. Sanford heading for Yue. Carl Teasy secures another turtle. Wise going to fall here. Oh my goodness, on the run. Can't get away from Sanji. 2 down. Looking for a third. Here comes Carl once again. Sanji and Benny Cutie making their way. Owl's in trouble. Yue. The storm comes through.
First the king and the queen, and then the rest of the cavalry. Edward.
Legend Agent Zero. 1 versus multiple. Still 1 hit away. Bob and weave it. Can't get away. Sanford gets the kill.
Try as he did. Edward will fall to 4 and Echo 7.3k and counting gold lead. Not even minutes in this game, it's 10-1. Everything Blacklist want to do to gain control, to turn it around, just keeps getting stopped over and over again by Echo. Their layering of entries, abilities, and timing. Yaoi with a kick!
Yaoi gonna get the Way of the Dragon once again off. The follow-up damage is gonna be there. They unleash. Carl Teasy finds the lockdown on Edward. The damage comes through. Benny Cutie with another kill.
Gentlemen, is it just me or is the Echo Express getting faster and faster throughout the series? 7K, almost 8K gold lead now, just about 8 minutes and just approaching 8 minutes and 30 seconds in.
The funny thing is, that was a miscalculation by Benny Cutie's Bennett's Rage, because it did not hit Wise at all. It actually friendly fired himself, but of course, no friendly fire in MLBB. But it's just Carl Teasy entering perfectly again with that heavy spin.
That's just how much damage Echo's presenting. He missed, but they got it anyways.
Yaoi once again finding Owl here, but no follow-up to follow this time. He will get punished. Blacklist International finding a mistake. They're still gonna go. Oh my Venus comes through with a circling eagle. Sanji gonna be in trouble. Owl, here comes Sanford chasing him down. They pay him back, but it's too down. Heavy spin, finding two. Oh my Venus down, Edward to follow. You can't stop the storm.
Double sandwich play into a 2-for-3 trade. Started out bad. They gave up the playmaker, but Echo comes out with more on the way out.
This isn't just the Echo Express now. Inside the train, if you look at one of the train carriages, there's an Echo buffet. The sandwiches that they've been dishing out to Blacklist International throughout this series. The late entries again. Benny Cutie making the most out of his dashes. He did not need to use Flicker in that scenario when we thought Blacklist found the perfect way to capitalize on an Echo mistake.
Oh, Renmar. Nice. So it's about to happen again.
They're going to try to cut him off here. Turret a couple hits away. They find the lockdown on Edward. He's got to flicker around. Can they survive this? Sanford goes in with a vengeance. The follow through with Yaoi. Wise is in trouble. Triple kill for Benny Cutie again. The guy is massive.
The Echo Express, as you put it, in one carriage has a buffet, in another a full ecosystem. It's like Snowpiercer in here, fam.
In the Philippines, you only got 2 seasons, dry and wet. Benny Cutie the Storm, he's wet right now. This is a wet performance. 8-0-6. This is just an absolute dismantling of Blacklist International. A Blacklist that looks so dominant in the playoffs. Echo, what are they on?
Where were these Orcas in the early days of the playoffs? Did it take their longtime rival Blast International to unlock this level of gameplay? Oh no!
Oh, they're still going to be going. Carl Teasy has to heavy spin on the defense. He will get shut down by Owl. Still, Lord going to be up here. Echo trying to think twice. They will be fended off. Blacklist International deals with the base siege.
Despite the 10K gold lead, Blacks International defended amazingly.
Oh my God!
Bakar.
Oh!
You can't dodge that, I guess.
Gigi
You can't
combo niya, Cho.
defend that way if your farce is down like that. Where did that come from?
There's a sniper in the building. What in the heck? The Void Crystal from the Eve. Right at the tip. Sanji was like, all right, Benny, I'll set you up. The bird. Ooh, it's hot. It's hot.
Oh, Lord. He's wet and he's
Gigi,
hot.
Gigi combo niya.
There's a whole lot.
Ouch! You catch a fever that way. That's how you get sick.
Yep. Fun fact, for the people coming here for M5, gotta avoid that. But now, we see Blacklist can avoid getting set up by Echo yet again. Edward, though, we gotta commend his final slash.
Staying
Another slash
out,
coming in from Benny. But those are little windows that Echo still, even with this crazy of a lead, cannot afford to give. You have to be careful. That was a fantastic final slash by Edward.
About 30 seconds away from a Luminous Lord. So again, the same situation as in games in this series prior. Not much for Blacklist. Yeah, they're getting kills, but not a single turret. Nice to look. Just that one turret up top. But it's still standing. It still counts.
It's technically still up, right? I know it's a one hit away, but as of right now, Blacklist doesn't have any objectives really for their favor, right? Now they're dealing with almost a 12K gold lead.
Tiga
And
bar.
just these kind of check shots coming out from Benny Cutie are enough to deal with here for Blacklist International. They're probably just going to have to give up this Lord as well and hope for a defense of a lifetime.
Sanford clearing the minion wave like he did, even checking just in case. The minion waves up top, pushing there for Echo, definitely a free Lord. And now Blacklist will have to hope they have enough firepower, that they can layer their abilities well enough to punish what will be most likely a very aggressive entry here by Echo.
Okay, so good news. Blacklist has amazing Highland defense. They're
Yes.
rocking that carry. They're rocking that Farsa. If they need to, bob and weave inside their own base, they have the Matilda, amazing Final Slash and Edward, the potential for the taunt. But that's best case scenario. I'm not so sure Echo's just gonna allow all those layerings to come in at the right time because they're such great spoilers. They can play at their tempo again. Yaoi on the show. That alone has to be a threat.
We posed the question earlier, the possibility of Yaoi going back on one of his signature heroes. The Echo M4 skin that I'm pretty sure we'll be getting. But now with the Siege, what can Blacklist do?
Here they go. Yawi's going to decide to go in. Finds a way the dragon. Oh my Venus going to fall. Carl Teasy on the backside plus Sanford forcing him back. Benny Cutie going to flick her in. It's not enough for Blacklist. Another triple comes through. And now Echo finds him at match point.
The Orcas threaten. Match point. 3-0 in a best of 7. I said it again. From Jakarta to here. Blacklist has to pull something out right here, right now.
It has to be at this moment. You do not want to be in this scenario. Backs against the wall, against the team known for taking it to their opponents when they sense weakness, when they sense vulnerability, they will pounce. One more game potentially, one more game.
What's going on? You gotta wonder, what's going on in the camp of Blacks International?
I don't know, man. Now it's 3 games in a row where they've just been taken by the Echo Express. And they have no response on how to get off of it. And because every game up to this point, there hasn't been really a time where they've had that lead.
Tit for tat, draft, gameplay, execution, I'd say even mental. Echo hasn't trumped.
Gila si Joe.
Yeah, but there's something about right
Tiga
now how
kosong.
the members of Blacklist are moving.
Dipegang
It's still
Echo.
a tight, formations are there, but then the moments where players being able to pull out some creative tricks like, what do you call it, improvisational skills, there we go. Moments of
Improvisation.
Yes, thank you, there, words. It seems like Blacklist are falling short in that scenario, and Echo are just pouncing on it. It's a hesitation up slightly from Blacklist. We have a tournament in the Philippines. Oh, the aura of Echo maybe a bit too much.
I have to say, that's right, especially for the rookies. You're watching Yue, you're watching Owl. They're not exactly playing the way they have in the first few days of the playoffs. Now let's throw it over to our analysts. They're going to try to break it down here. Let's talk about Game 3. Sanford, Benny, Sanji, Cortese, and Yaoi. They are styling on Blacklist International. It's happening again midnight.
Man, the Filipino casters have said it. Holy sheesh. It was, I would say, an outclass and an outdraft. Mix of both. And, it has to start with the ideology again of Echo. They just kept on running and running against Blacklist International. We mentioned earlier, well, we did discuss earlier behind the cameras that Blacklist, they don't have any answers against this first pick Joy, and this was something that was done against them yesterday when they were fighting against RSG. And Echo, they did have the Beatrix once again in this game, which propelled them towards the mid-game success that they had on game number 2. And it feels like, again, I have to say this, I have to be brutally honest. It seems like Echo has figured out Blacklist International
It really does, right? I mean, if you look at the drafts as well, it feels like for BLACKLIST International, they're more concerned of team synergy and how the composition actually works together than they are of the winning matchups. That's ultimately giving Echo so much of an upper edge in the early game through these lanes. Beatrix versus Carry, Owl, every single game on the Carry and Beatrix. We've seen it 2 games now. It's been the Beatrix just heavily forcing him out of lane. Not even just using the lead to go for a siege. No, he's actually utilizing the wave manipulation to bully the Carry out, to get a 2,000, 1,000 gold lead on the board in the start of the game against that Carry.
Yeah, you know, I'm a jungler player. I know jungle matchups. It's a Kai versus Predator. We saw this from Sensui. It is a great answer versus the Predator against objectives because you do have that heavy spin, but you also mentioned that there is a factor between the Beatrix and Carry matchup.
It's just super hard already, right? And if you take into account the fact that Echo picked up that Cho and even the Akai, so much more CC, that kind of forces the Carry to go for Purify. We mentioned it, needs to go for the Flicker, and that he went for the Flicker, but even then, it was not enough. They had so much mobility on Echo. It wasn't a one-dimensional draft. Yaoi was able to constantly find those crazy G-Kundos, and at this point, how do you stop this man, right? You play with a lot of anti-CC, maybe a Purify, a few?
Well, the thing is, even with Purify, it didn't feel like BLACKLIST had enough tools against Echo because when we saw these skirmishes earlier, the team fights, like how Echo addressed BLACKLIST's OB composition is just overload them with highlights, you know? Every targets on the side of BLACKLIST International have individual marks on them. Sanford has his own target, Cartesi has his own target, Sanji has his own target, and of course, Benicudi, well, he's targeting everybody on the side of BLACKLIST International, especially when he targeted Owl inside the base. He threaded 2 heroes to get a snipe onto Owl.
Threaded the needle on a Beatrix, and it's not even a signature pick, right? Benicudi
Dua-dua
absolutely
lima.
popping off, but what I do want to mention is the fact that Echo played against the Ube to perfection. You mentioned a bit of it, but I really want to emphasize that top lane play where usually you don't want to do that against BLACKLIST. You do not want to go 1 by 1, but they went in 1 by 1. They all just baited out resources, distracted, and gave their main 2 carries, Sanford and Benny, in that particular matchup, in that top lane skirmish, so much room to play. Because Sanji was the bait. You don't usually see this, but Echo, they're able to do it.
He was like, okay, I can turn. I have read word manipulation. I have shields. I have CC immunity. What do you have? You have damage and carry? Okay, I'll kill the carry. He turned, and after that, Echo was able to find an immaculate team fight that set him up for success. Against the
Ada,
pin
Cok.
down from Carl Tizzy. 2 heroes against BLACKLIST, and he does this constantly, even during the Turtle and Lord fights. The heavy spin is a valuable resource on the side of Echo because it allows you to basically reposition your heroes, reset the fight, and also control the movements of BLACKLIST International. This is the concept of displacement. You know, having this on the side of Echo alongside an Eve and a Joy, it's hard to counter that if you're a BLACKLIST because you only have 1 save. And that is on the Mathilda. And even the Mathilda was not able to save a lot of heroes on this matchup because there is that follow-up snipe coming out from the Benicudi.
What's strange as well is the fact that BLACKLIST International are just leaning onto, in my opinion, their default, their template here. They're not really getting creative at all. And that
90%
creativity
nih
was
jelas lah, Cok.
really why they were able to make it up into the upper brackets. First though, your MVP, it's Sanji for game number 3. And yeah, he played the Eve as a distraction in that top lane. He was the tank, man.
Yeah. He was like, okay, my highlights, it's not gonna be kills. It's gonna be setups. Like the amount of setups that I can bring for Echo, because I have 4 playmaking heroes. I am not gonna be greedy. I can set up for kills. I can turn team fights around because the thing is, Carl TC, when he uses that heavy spin, that's the last resource for a team fight. But if we use the real world manipulation first, how does BLACKLIST fight? How do they come into us? There's no possible way for BLACKLIST to fight into Echo with that setup without having to commit a lot of resource. And again, the carry, he seems too passive. Without the flicker, it feels like BLACKLIST cannot fight 5v5 at all against this lineup.
We kind of mentioned this as well while we were discussing in the game there. Sanji on the eve, very dynamic. What enables him to be able to make these kind of plays happen, the adaptive maneuvers, right? Whether he uses the ultimate first or whether he waits till the end to deal damage, that's just basic mechanics. You gotta say it. Mechanical displays were shown off the entire game. From Carl Teasy winning the 50-50 red tree battles, to them getting so many pin downs, to the crazy Benny Cutie snipe that threaded the needle. It was just Echo, styling, and outplaying Blacklist International.
Yeah, just looking at it, the team fights that got pulled off against Blacklist International, they were really patient. And the amount of slows that is coming out from the Eve alongside the Ice Queen 1 really punishes the thread and pick of Blacklist International. And Wise didn't have a good game here. It's not because of the playstyle, because of the genius behind the ideology of the clashes from Echo. And we see Blacklist International try to retaliate, but where's the damage? Where is the scaling power of the carry when you have this amplified presence coming off from the Beatrix, which just steamrolls over your lineup? And even if you do find that pickup on the Beatrix, again, there is a lot of re-engage factor coming off from Echo. Blacklist did, however, find some few kills on the bottom lane, but Yaoi was always consistently finding good pickoffs with a kick flicker, and this was the team fight that we were talking about earlier. The pin down from Carl Teasy setting up a success here for Echo, and this was allowed by the setup from Sanji's Eve.
A few times, right? This happened, and again, you can see the Eve just using the real world manipulation as, you know, the last sort of damage here to actually enable Benny Cutie to get that triple kill, and this is it.
There you
the
go.
needle thread from Benny and Sanji. The coordination from this team at this point, I don't even think it's them communicating. It's just them understanding what they want to do. It's like, it's got telepathy, man.
Well, you know what? We have a term for that. It's called the House of Highlights. You know, Echo are used to doing so many highlights of their own. We saw so many from a single team fight. Like, yes, Blacklist finds a kill, but 4 heroes looks for highlights of their own.
Exactly, and again, the systematic playstyle that Blacklist International are trying to utilize here isn't working. They need to, in my opinion, again, stay creative, utilize what made them so great to get into the upper bracket finals, to get into the grand finals, and it is with Edward playing the winning matchup. Get Edward a winning matchup and play for Edward. He will be able to create the space for the team to inevitably make the plays to end the game.
Yep, if Blacklist International wants to come back from the score of Echo, they have to mount a 4-0 version of their own, and they have to break the chaos that Echo is bringing forward to the table here in this grand finals. We will find out if Echo is able to take it all the way from Blacklist. But before that, let's talk to Marakino first for some few icebreakers here.
Hindi lang sa loob ng lineup na nagkakatulanan ng ating mga manlalaro, pati na rin ang ating mga manonood dito sa SMX Convention Center. We have Atomax, Coach Bakbet, Hito, Rivo, and Chakno. Chakno, wag ka magtago. Dito ka.
Chakno.
Chakno, laging ano. Chakno, okay, ito. Gusto namin malaman kung anong koponan ba ang pambato mo. Ano ba tayo? Eko. Sa Eko.
Ano ba tayo?
Malilito ka ata eh. Okay, Hito, ikaw.
Ako, nung before mag-start yung Grand Finals, Blacklist ako eh. Pero ngayon nag 3-0 na, Echo ako, Echo.
Eko.
Echo proud! Echo Perks!
Rivo! Kanino ka?
Siyempre, Eko, nandiyan si The Goat Carl.
Syempre! San ka? Eto, Max.
Blacklist, siyempre, sila yung tumalo sa amin. Gusto namin sila yung mag-champion.
Gusto mo yung tumalo mag-champion. Coach Bakbet.
Ako, Blacklist din kasi fan ako ng reverse sweep eh.
Fan ng reverse sweep. Okay. How about this? Ipagmayabang nyo yung pambato nyo. Dahil mas marami kayo, kayo muna magsimula.
Sinabi mo, Bakbet reverse sweep eh. Hindi nga kayo maka-reverse sweep sa Blacklist.
Oy! Coach! What do you have to say to that?
Okay lang, na lang, babawi na lang next season.
Tapos, ipagmayabang mo yung pambato mo.
Feeling ko kaya pa naman ng Blacklist. Kailangan lang nila ng ng bagong timpla kasi 3-0 na nga yung game, tsaka kailangan nila ng mag-adjust. Sobrang ganda ng ginagawa ng Echo, kailangan nilang mas pag-aralan pa.
Sabi niya, gawin mo daw flip-top. Sige nga, ito Max. Ikaw yung mag-flip-top dyan.
Okay lang. Kahit down sila ng 0-3, 6 out of 7 finals appearance naman yung BYs.
6 out of 7 grand finals ang BYs. What you got?
Hindi, naalala nyo guys yung season 7, Execration versus Blacklist. Sila yung ni-reverse sweep ng Blacklist. Paano ba naman kasi game 7, pinikan ng hilo si Chakno, naka-revitalize. Ayun, bagsak.
Ipagmayabang mo naman ang Echo. Chakno, sige nga, pagmayabang mo yung Echo. Pambato mo Echo, di ba?
Yan guys.
Ribo, anong masasabi mo?
Wala, champion na to, Echo.
It's that simple daw para sa kanya.
Kaya pa yan, maraming reverse sweep na nangyayari. Tsaka, kaya pa ng Blacklist.
Tinalo kami ng Blacklist, kailangan nila mag-champion dito.
Okay. So we're trying to settle that here. We're gonna settle that in the land of Dawn. Pero ito, Coach, gaano ba kahirap pag 3-0 ka na ma-reverse? How hard is that mentally? What do you think is happening right now?
Actually, yung mga ganyang down ka ng 0-3, tapos last win na lang yung kalaban. Sobrang hirap niyan kasi ang dami mong parang titignan factors Syempre yung mental ng mga players. Also, yung mga strat na saan kayo nagkulang. So, may mga babaguhin sila dyan na halimbawa sa mga bans nila, pwedeng may mga i-open na sila na heroes. Sobrang hirap talaga. Pero pagka na-come up nila to, yung nasolusyonan nila itong game 4, possible magtuloy-tuloy na yan. Kasi ibig sabihin na hanap na nila yung tamang solusyon.
Now we're gonna see if we need just one more game or is this gonna be a reverse sweep? Chakno, dito ka. Babalik na tayo sa ating casters. So ipato mo sa kanila the way you do it, okay? Go ahead.
Casters, pasok.
That's another dream come true. Earlier thrown over by Kyrie, now by the Mamba?
We're blessed.
So blessed. I'm not sure if it's raining outside, but it's raining blessings in here.
I love it, but speaking of rain, man, the agents are in for quite a ride. I don't think they expected this. None of us expected this.
Yeah.
And Coach Etomax actually put it best. When you're down 0-3, it's extremely difficult. He knows exactly what he's talking about, both as a coach and as a former player.
Yeah, you got to think about the mental of the players, how big of an impact. Because again, this isn't like, honestly, it wasn't a 3-0 where every game was neck and neck. We're talking about dominant games from Echo. The Echo Express just taking Blacklist International for a ride. So it's like, what do we do? There's so many boxes that need to be looked at, that need to be checked here for Blacklist International.
And I believe that's a question that just keeps rolling over and over again in the heads of Blacklist. What do we do? What do we draft? What do we ban? In the potential last ban of our series, it's Blacklist on the blue side, again deciding to take away the Franco and Kaja, going back to a familiar pattern of drafting.
Okay, I'm happy. Again, just putting myself in the shoes of Blacks International and their fans, because this is where they kind of got a little too experimental from Game 3. They tried to pull out the Grok and Kaja Gambit. Now the winning lane for Agent Zero. Does Echo oblige with a Faramis?
If I'm Echo here, yes, but then their gold laner and or jungler needs to be dealing magic damage. Faramis couldn't be the only source of magic damage, but no. Okay, there's still room for a Faramis here, but the even Lancelot together, great pickups. Now, the fact that it's a Lapu ban potentially might mean it's a Yuzhong for Sanford, depending on the picks here of Blacklist. And there it is, right away. Of course they pick it up. Faramis Valentina by Black.
They deny it.
They deny it. I love this too, because in a way, even though the Lapu Lapu was banned, another standout hero for Sanford was this Yuzhong pick. So now he has it. And again, this is the Lancelot, the Eve here. Solid choices already for Echo. Is this enough, though, for Blacklist International for the first phase? Because even, we heard from Midnight and Mirko, and they're like, hey, let Edward play. Let him get that winning lane if he can. Well, does this already, how does this match up against the Yuzhong here?
Well, Blacklist will need to help the Yuzhong if they want to activate it more. At the end of the day, it might just end up becoming a dead lane between these two. But I see the double XP start happening again here for Blacklist, just to delay Sanford a little bit. We saw earlier Sanford have a monster performance at MVP 1 against RSG Slate Philippines. Blacklist will try to do everything they can to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Blacklist can do one thing here. They get to ban out the Cho.
Yeah.
Very important thing to do. Again, very few commandments in MLB that you have to follow. Clear your waves, check your maps, and ban Yaoi's Cho.
Well, they don't. They decide to ban the Beatrix here. So we'll see. Again, if that is the option, if that's locked in, it's not out of the realm of possibility that Benny Cutie just decides to go with something non-traditional. The 1-1, the Claude, the Beatrix are all taken out. We haven't seen them this series yet play the Brody. That's still available.
Yeah, Brody. But I'm feeling spicy here for Echo. Hearth or Lunox? Up against the Glue. The Order of Brilliance. Gonna be up against, and it's Aaron.
There it is.
All right, not too far off.
Not too far off.
It's a gold lane mage, but it's one that's worked all throughout today in the hands of Benedict Gonzalez, Benny Cutie. He picks up the Harith, and now Blacklist closing up their draft, putting the Fredrin in the hands of Wise, and of course, Owl's signature. If there's a clutch gene in the rookie gold laner of Blacks International, it has to be activated right now.
Part of me thinks this might actually be more of another roamer.
No.
It's a Valier. What a pick! Now, it's a 100% win rate with 2 picks this season.
Was that in the hands of Yaoi?
One of them was in the hands of Yaoi. I'm not entirely sure if it was both, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is.
Isn't Yaoi the one that brought it out in Season 10 playoffs?
Yes, exactly in this situation as well. In a series against Blacks International, of the 2 that they won, one, he was playing a Valier role.
This is a lineup that Echo drafted to end quick. The Valier roam, though, Yaoi needs to be careful, because if not, it puts more pressure onto Sanford, and specifically Carl TZ, to be the pseudo-roamer frontliners for Echo. But if they pull this off, it will be a devastating loss for Blacklist and a quick one for Echo.
Already, I'm going to help Blacklist troubleshoot. I suggest invest in your tough boots. Invest in, this is, if you're going to buy an early rating armor, this might be that game.
I was going to say, there's literally 3 sources of magic damage, I believe, here. So, you're going to be able to want to rush those items to kind of survive that onslaught of magic damage.
Yeah, the pairing for Valier is usually this. Back in Season 10, it was the Lilia in the Grand Finals, and Echo won that game with that. Earlier in the season, they went Valier and Eve. A lot of slows, a lot of pokes that the roaming mid-3 of Blacklist needs to watch out for here.
Here we see the double XP lane rotation, the trademark for Blacklist in the playoffs, while Echo maintains their tempo. So far, nothing out of the ordinary, a minute in.
Oh, they knew Yaoi was going to be extended a little bit there. He had to flick around. First blood going to be drawn by Edward. Already off to a good start here. They get the flicker out from Yue, but look at Carl TZ forcing out that as well.
This is what I'm talking about when it comes to the risk of the Valier pickup. If you get caught, you will get punished. Up against a Faramis, an Eve, and Edward, who got out of lane quickly. Yaoi needs to watch out for that. He can't overextend and be forced to use his flicker in those scenarios so early.
About 30 seconds before the first hurdle of the game, SMX is shaking. Agents all over the world are trembling. They are sending out their energy to the Season 10 champions. This shouldn't end in a sweep, they say, as we have about a quarter of a minute before the first hurdle. Look how deep Wise is. This is a newfound confidence in Blacklist throughout the series.
Yeah. And even with your backs against the wall, you gotta be like this. You can't hesitate to try and get vision. See what you can do to disrupt either the disruptive nature of the Eve and Valier combo together. Oh my Venus will struggle a bit in the laning phase. First tunnel up, Edward's alone.
All right, Sanford already going to go into the Dragon form. Going to force Edward back a little bit here. Looks like Blacklist just going to give up that first turtle. Really don't want to get further behind. They're holding on to a very small lead. And Echo will secure that first objective of the game.
Yeah, but I got eyes on the one true king. Look at King Wise. I wonder if Carl knows. I wonder if the rest of Echo knows what he's up to.
Yeah, Yowie's about to check it. Oh, he won't be able to steal it in time.
Oh, they do have an idea. Now Wise going to be in a bad position here. 3 versus 1. Here comes Oh My Venus trying to help out. Yowie will get punished. But Wise falls as well on top of it. The 1-for-1 trade.
Just a moment too late with the cult altar by the queen. Couldn't save her king.
Wait, he committed Grand Theft Orange. Our buff says Wise.
Yeah, he was able to steal it away from Carl Teasy. Carl Teasy will get pulled.
Okay, he's going to execution out of there. Still, this is exactly what Wise has to do. Like you mentioned, you know, he's got to have kind of that swag to him, not only because he's playing the Fredrin here, but also given the situation, right? Carl Teasy, for the most part of this series, has been all over the place, especially in the jungle of Blacklist International.
And you mentioned this, Renmar. Prior to loading into the game, he has to act as that pseudo-roamer. Get a little hyperactive because, again, Yowie can only really commit his skills. But when he does, it hurts.
Yeah. Right now, though, in the XP lane, and the question of Glue versus Yuzhong, we feel Edward more in the map, but the pressure that Sanford is applying in the lane means Edward's always forced to go back and rotate just to clear the minion waves. Sanford not going to be roaming to mid here. Thought he would, trying to find a pick, but the minion waves don't have that in favor for him. Both teams tried to go for a topside sequence, but thanks to vision, both teams back off. It's going to be back to the mid and the jungle again. That's been the hot spot for this game so far.
And here we go. Now focus on the top side. Owl in trouble. 2 versus 1. Has to flicker out. A little bit of burn there. No follow-up with the kill just yet. And the rest of the members, Blacklist International, able to help him out. Meanwhile, Turtle being worked on. Looks like multiple members of Echo should be able to secure this one. Second one for them of the game. But Wise goes in with the Brazer's Wrath. Yowie going to be in trouble. One hit away. Wise couldn't get the kill.
Oh, wow. But in this sequence, check out Wise. He stole Carl Teasy's orange as the rest of Blacklist pressure the gold lane.
Yeah, while Echo were getting the turtle, Wise decides to invade again.
Oh, he's going to cut them off.
Carl.
Here comes Carl. Do they have the follow-up they're going to be looking for? No, they don't, so they back off.
Okay, Sanford has the Hunter Strike. The combos will be deadly coming in from the Yuzhong now. Now, Echo still a very close game. Despite everything, Blacklist are handling this game so far beautifully. Little wins. The reason why it's only a small lead for Echo is that Blacklist, they're invading the jungle, but this is going to be a big change of our scenario. As the top lane will get pressured, Owl loses his turret, and that's going to be Benny Cutie out of lane first.
This tier 1 push up top is going to make this turtle coming up in about a minute all the more easy for Blacklist to just let go. Because given this small lead by Echo, yeah, Blacklist looking much better now. It's still a turtle that they can't really contest.
Echo, see if they can find a pick before this. That will be the goal. Find the pick. Force out an ultimate, a key ability before this turtle starts. 35 seconds though, Sanji. Pressing the issue. UN has the ultimate. Wise going in.
Okay, Wise going to go in. He's going to find Yowie here. He will fall. Sanford already using the dragon form. Going to find 2 members. Gets the petrify off. 2-2 fall for Blacklist. Still going to be looking for the fight. Yue trying to help the team here. Benny Cutie with the Zaman Force. They're going to be focusing down Wise. He's a couple hits away. Will fall. So it's a trade here. Echo coming out on top.
Eventually, a messy engage. Echo comes out with more than what they paid with.
Yeah, Echo, late entry. Seems like Blacklist again just completely forgot about the Yuzhong. They committed a lot. Get Yowie correctly, yes, but they committed so many abilities that once the Black Dragon flew in, it was all took one combo to take down 2.
Oh, Owl gonna be in trouble again. Oh my Venus has to use the flicker and the cult altar, but Sanji dropping down the real world manipulation. The queen will fall, plus the turret.
Again, this is just Echo pushing the tempo. Yeah, for the first 5 minutes, they had to play footsies. They had to temper their expectations and say, okay, looks like Blacklist came to play. But now, we're back in about the same situation. Echo are in the driver's seat.
Sanford and his late entry in that last sequence meant that Minion. Oh wait, no, he got Echo again.
He's gonna come through again. Wise fighting for that purple buff. Rest of the Echo squad here. Now Edward gonna come in with the glue. Split activated. Quite a few stuns coming out. Brazer's Wrath gonna be burned as Benny Cutie comes through with his Amen Force, finding Wise. And Wise falls again in the jungle here.
Next up on the docket, gonna be this mid lane. Tier 1.
Oh my Venus. Gonna be in trouble. Carl Teasy looking for the kill here. Sanji drops down the RWM. And another objective. Turret will fall in the mid lane.
Owl left a fat wave down bottom. I wonder if it's actually gonna cave.
Yeah, pretty sure that turret's gonna go down there. And at that point, it's just Blacklist saying, "You gotta try to pull something here. Try to get a little bit more far for a gold laner." And yes, it was a loss in the mid, but at this point, that's what they can get. That's all what they have to do. 1,400 and counting is the goal difference between Benny Cutie and Owl. With Benny Cutie in the lead.
Fellas, spot the double Radiance armors coming in from Edward and Oh My Venus. I expect more to come up. It looks like Wise on the way to his.
Good itemization there by Blacklist. I think that's what Echo will be watching out for and considering. But considering the spike that Echo has hit, Benny Cutie already has the Holy Crystal. As long as Echo don't lose a massive, doesn't suffer a massive loss, they can continue this. But Blacklist are in close enough gold territory to actually turn this around.
Yeah, they actually want to go ahead and contest this one. Lord was started up. Carl T's going to focus on Wise. They want to get the jungler down. Cold Altar comes through. Is it enough though? Wise will fall. Owl tries to find the angle, not going to be able to find it instead. He's bobbing his weaving, but it's not enough. Yaoi has the slows there, followed by Sanji, and Owl runs away. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Sanford pushes UA back. And now it's Carl Teasy and Oh My Venus on the run. Sanford falls. They're split up everywhere. The Queen goes down. Carl Teasy able to find the kill. And now do they decide to take the Lord?
Divide and conquer. Echo split up the map, and again, Blacklist was the one who scattered out. That was an engagement that Blacklist read as, all right, we can take this, we can take this. And so far, what has been bought for the Codebreakers is at least a Lord that they can maybe dance for.
Wise has struggled in retro duels against Carl TV this entire series so far. A win here could be massive for Blacklist. But ultimates are up across the board. Cold Altar for here, but is it going to be a full commit? Look at where Owl is. He's up top. Echo, do they sense it? What happens now?
Sanford going to use the Dragon Form, pushing Blacklist International back here. Lord's going to go ahead and reset a little bit. Owl, like you said, in the top side, not here for this fight. Wise still showing face, Salmon Force, and the RWM going to come out. Edward trying to buy a little bit of time here. Owl making his way to the fight. Brazer's Wrath comes down. Sanford quite low, trying to escape the fight. Edward takes down Benny Cutie. Now Yaoi's in trouble. Owl gets a kill here. And it's Echo with a blunder. And now Blacklist International looking to punish. Sanford trying to get back to base. Carl Teasy, nowhere to go, even with the help of Sanji, and they turn it around. Blacklist now has a go at the Lord.
The defending champions are feeling it. SMX is feeling it. They have shrank that 2K gold lead now to about 300 as they make a beeline for the Lord. They take it.
Blacklist International, a weight off of their shoulders. A massive win. We said it was turn around the ball, and they found the turnaround. The late entry by Owl, though they were split, Blacklist held on, and Echo will now try to defend against the Codebreakers, against the defending champs.
It seemed like it was a engagement or scenario in the making the first time it happened, because again, it was the same split by Echo. They won that first time around, but Blacklist, they figured it out, they understood. And this time around, when it actually mattered, when it led into this first Lord, Blacklist got it right.
Their individual decision-making in that team fight to hold on for as long as they could, avoiding the key abilities, watching out for Echo. What a response by the defending champions.
Here's the response from Echo. They're going to force it down. Dragon Form going to come out looking for UA here. He's in trouble. Colt Alter goes through, but it's not going to be enough. Owl trying to hold on. Carl Teasy on the hunt. Zaman forced to follow. Echo still looking for more. Pushing him and holding him back here in the mid lane.
Man, you've got to wonder. Blacklist had the gold lead here, but they were still able to light Yue up despite having a cold altar. Where'd the damage come from?
The patience of Sanford to really hold on. The poke damage coming in from the Valier and the Eve. Sanford and his Black Dragon form not going down right away, really saving it for the key targets, and Alan Yue was the key.
So now they've overloaded the lone physical damage defense item in Blacklist arsenal. I guess you're right, Reptar. You have to watch out now for Sanford, for Carl Teasy, because it's not just about magic.
Carl Teasy once again putting the pressure here in the mid lane. Execution comes through. Edward has to split. Wise waiting patiently there. Echo just getting some information. Again, it's still a minute until that next Lord comes up here as both teams look for establishing presence.
This is the strongest Blacklist has looked. This is the closest this series has looked. One mistake, one error, one right call might be the difference between game number 5 or a championship now in a sweep for Echo. The tension in the air is high here. You have to watch out for the entries, the timing of Oh My Venus' Cult Altar, who Edward grabs onto. If Owl can keep himself alive, if Benny Cutie can keep that unified for the best possible moment.
Lord here in about 10 seconds, putting theory into practice. Edward is going to be one key way for Blacklist to cut straight into Echo's formation, because again, in that first Lord take, it was Edward, Agent Zero, who was actually threatening a grab into whoever's soft enough. And to be fair, amongst Echo, they're all pretty soft.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be making a play here, trying to cut off Echo. But it's going to get spotted out as both teams going to clash in, sandwich each other. Owl caught off from the team. He's in trouble. Benny Cutie will get the kill. Colt Alter already used. And just like that, Echo knows they have the numbers advantage and go for the Lord.
They can't take any fights without Owl.
The carry falls, and that might be the error and the catch that we were talking about. This Lord will be uncontested. What can Echo make out of this? This is still a close game.
All right. Looking back at the history of this series, in the past 3 games that we played, Echo have made devastating developments with their Luminous Lords. So I'm thinking, where else? How deep can Blacklist dig? Because they still have their inhibitors. There's still a couple of tier 2 standing. So I'm guessing this will be a very defendable Lord.
Defendable. Is it? Echo, is this it? Let's watch out.
Gonna find out here. Mid lane. Lord makes his way. Sanford using the dragon form. Already gonna force back Yue and the rest of the team. Colt Alter comes out too. Looking to end the game possibly here. They know the Colt Alter's down. Wise will fall. Echo still healthy. Happy to deal with it. Lord will go down. They focus on the next inhibitor turret. Waves pushing in. Wise is not here. Echo now gets rid of the bottom lane inhibitor turret. Still possibly holding on. Eyes set on the next turret.
Minions are huge.
Minions coming through. They get the flicker out. Benny Cutie with his Almond Force pushing them back. Blacklist International's in trouble. Immortality gonna come through. There's Sanji once again. Yue has to get out. Sanji gets the kill. And now Blacklist is falling apart. Carl Teasy. And it looks like they're gonna do it. It's deja vu. They sweep Blacklist.
We are still in the age of the Orca. Your MPL Philippines Season 11 champions are Echo.
Knocked down to the lower bracket, brought to their limit. The reigning world champions found the heart, will, and skill to taste the sweet kiss of destiny yet again. The age of Orca stands undisputed. Champions of the world,
champions of the Philippines!
And with this victory, and with this repeat of what went down in Tennis Indoor Sinayan in Jakarta, Indonesia, Echo can also now make the run for a Grand Slam in MSC.
Man, both teams going to be fighting for that, the Grand Slam, but it's Echo just showing how dominant they are. And really, yes, that game 4 was a little bit closer for Blacklist International, but it just didn't work out for them there, and Echo comes through again with the Echo Express.
Now
No
that we're
sponsor,
living
Joe.
in this moment, there's a lot of talk on social media saying, is Echo Blacklist's kryptonite? Despite their long rivalry, despite this now being a trilogy, is Echo truly the one to take down the Codebreakers?
The story isn't done yet. The story will keep on telling. MSC and Cambodia looms over both of these two teams. This was a team, Blacklist International, that was counted out. No one thought they'd make it this far. No one thought. And with a bow, he will bow out. Swept yet again by Echo. I'm looking forward to what they will do for us, the Philippines, in MSC. But it is Echo's moment now.
It's no secret that these two are some of the best in the world. And here in the home of champions, they have proven their mettle. Let's throw it over to Mara Aquino on stage.
He will be representing us in the upcoming
Give us a
MSC
job.
2023. And now, SMX Convention Center. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause to our MPL Philippines Season 11 champion, Echo! Now to present the award, when we call on stage the head of prepaid category of Smart Communications Inc., Mr. Lloyd R. Manaloto. Now our players will be awarded medals to commemorate this momentous victory. Go ahead, guys, claim your medals. Sanji, Carl Teasy, Yowie, Sanford, Benny Cutie, Gian, Coach Trevor, and Coach TikTok. Congratulations! Guys, come on over here. I would just like to get a message from you. Yowie, champion! Congratulations!
Thank you po. Thank you so much sa mga di nawala suportahan kami tsaka simula kami niya sobra mahal na mahal namin kayo.